I'd like to call this meeting of Southbury Planning Commission to order. Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, room 205. If everybody would join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is behind us. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is this running? Give it a second before we get that on. That's recording. Okay. Okay. Let's see, seating of alternates. Let's see. Oh, we're all here, but we'll still seat Mary and, yeah, we're all here. Good. Perfect. Election of officers. New year 2026. We have to elect our chairman, vice chairman, and secretary.
Nominate Rich Teardle for chairman.
You got to turn your microphone on there, Nancy.
Nominate Rich Teardle for chairman.
Second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you, guys. I recommend Nancy for vice chairman if she'd like to do it again this year.
I will.
You will. Second from Robin. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Nominate Bob Harrison for secretary.
Bob, okay with that? Okay, I'll nominate, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Everybody's filled in? You caught up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. No public hearings on the schedule and no unfinished business. Under new business, site plan modification, 142 Main Street North, Southbury, Connecticut. Seeking approval for the change of use from furniture retail to bookshop, Little Fox Bookshop. Accepting and setting a public hearing for February the 17th, 2026, room 205, 7 p.m. No one's here for the bookshop?
Yes.
Oh, there
we
are.
do have someone
Okay.
If you want to just give a quick.
Sure, you want to jump up here and just tell us who you are, kind of give us like a 30,000-foot overview of kind of what you want to do, and then,
Not if there's a public hearing.
what?
She does have the public hearing, right?
Yeah, we're just going to give us a quick overview. And then just a real quick one, then we're going to set the public hearing for
Sure.
February 17th, so you'll come back and then give us a full-blown application, okay?
Absolutely,
All right.
yes. So my name is Abby. We are seeking to open a bookshop at the address listed 142 Main Street South. It's currently a retail furniture store. I'm seeking to open it with Maggie, my sister. We are long-term residents of Southbury, have lived here for about 10 years, and we look forward to the longer hearing in February. Is
Okay.
that what you were thinking?
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Excellent. So February 17th, right here in the same room, okay? Thank you. All right, application number 2 for subdivision 295, Old Woodbury Road, Southbury, Connecticut, seeking approval for construction of a new 4-lot subdivision, namely homes on Old Woodbury, Connecticut Residential. And let's see, yeah, that team is here. Yep, Mr. Volpe's here, yep, Mark Lancour's here. Okay.
For the public record, my name's Mark Lancour, principal engineer with Dymar, located here at 800 Main Street South in Southbury. And the project before you, and I'm going to keep this brief because you know, we're still waiting for a couple pieces of information. We're before wetlands at this point. This is roughly a 32-acre parcel of land. It's located, you know, towards the northern end of this town, towards on the Woodbury line. And if you can see in the map, what's shown in green is all the wetlands, and then the area that, this area here, is predominantly the parcel. We're just looking for 3 lots. This is the existing conditions, which shows steep slopes and wetlands and the setbacks.
This is for-
But basically, we're looking for 3-lot subdivision. It's considered a 4-lot, but there's other lands that is currently not under contract. Scott Volpe, who most of you know is the builder, is seeking to purchase the 3 lots. These 3 lots here, all conforming to the regulations in terms of its lot area, setbacks, et cetera. And we're proposing, along with it, is open space. The open space is located in this area here, with public access here. So we want to get all the open space for the entire parcel to be accepted under this application, as we don't have any idea what's going on with the balance of the property at this point. But we want to get all the open space taken care of at this point. So, very simple. This is one of the easier subdivisions I've done in a long time. So hopefully, the commission will see favorably on it. We're still waiting for health department approval.
We're waiting for all
Like
that stuff too.
everything else, it takes time for the health department to get back to us. Well, hopefully, the application was submitted simultaneously with all the land use applications here. We have wetlands tomorrow. They had their walk, and we're anticipating, hopefully, an approval tomorrow from wetlands. And then we'll be back here next month after we get our health department. That's it.
Okay. Anybody have any quick questions for Mark? Anything?
Who does the open space run to? The town, the land trust? Who does the open
Town.
space?
To the town, however they seek to want to use it. Could go to the land trust, whatever they want. So it's not a conservation easement. It is fully open space that would be deeded to the town. So,
Perpetuity.
Yep.
That open space adjacent to any other open space?
Good point, Ron. No, it's, the property is here, you know, we've got the farmland to this area. There is some area that is further along that's associated with Blueberry Lane, but it's not actually interconnected. I mean, it's nice wetlands, and there is public access to it, but to your point, it's not actually connected. There's no way that we can connect anything on this property to other open space.
That land touches land trust, though, up on the back of Old Woodbury? You said Blueberry Lane, so that goes all the way out to the back.
That's on the bottom.
That's on the bottom, yeah.
It's the bottom over here. This is all property that's owned by the property.
And then Land Trust has parcels way down, but
Further
they
over.
are
Yeah,
disconnected from the system.
Yeah, it's further over. Okay.
Nobody.
You're on your mic.
Where are your 3 lots?
1, 2, 3. There's an existing house that's situated here, which probably was the first cut years and years ago.
Thank you.
Is that gonna stay?
Yeah, we have no,
Yep.
we don't have no ownership with that. That's the,
That house that's existing there?
nope, goes back a long, we looked at to see if there was a first cut. It was actually cut in 1969, so it was after. So it's been there for a while,
Malone?
yeah.
All have frontage on Old Woodbury Road?
Yep, and no infrastructure involved, that sort of thing, so, very simple. I don't get these that often. So,
Anybody else, anything for Mark? Or Scott, if he's there? Nothing? Okay.
Thank
I
you.
guess we're good till next month when we
We'll
get
see you
the...
next month,
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Let's see, where are we here?
3?
Yep, site plan modification number 3, 1257 Southford Road, Southford, Connecticut. There was an error on here. We changed it to the correct one. Seeking approval under Schedule AB 1A, special exception of service-based business as a private art studio, art creation. Ms. Janelle Chandler, accepting and setting public hearing for February the 17th. Hi, how are you? So we're gonna set a public hearing for February the 17th. If you wanna say something real quickly, just give it, it's up to you, and then we'll just, so we have an idea who you are, and then we'll see you next month for sure.
Yeah, my name is Janelle Chandler. I've lived here since 1988. I temporarily moved away in my teen years, but I came back to have my family here. It's a great town. I love it. I am a art professor at Western Connecticut State University, and I just want to have a space outside of my home, where I have 4 children here in the district, for me to be able to do my artwork and take care of my own things and do some one-to-one tutoring with students, online meetings, that sort of thing. So,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
We'll see you next month, thank you. So public hearing will be set for February 17, 2026, room 205 at 7 PM. Doesn't mean right at 7, but you're on the schedule. We're starting at 7. Okay, thanks. All right, under other business, site plan modification, 1570 Southford Road, Southbury, Connecticut. Seeking approval for installation of a 3x7 square foot building sign and 4x8 square foot standing sign with associated lighting as per our regulations. Anybody have any questions or anything on the lighting for the sign for the bank? Anybody?
Are you requesting staff approval? Is that it?
No, we're pending receipt of additional materials for this one.
Okay, so not
So we won't be able-
internally lighted, no neon signs, right?
I mean, we need the lighting specs, and we need the data from the signage, and.
Just wanna make
I've-
sure that
I've
one.
conveyed that to the applicant, and thus far, they haven't been able to supply it. What's gonna end up happening in February at the 17th meeting is this commission will either have to deny without prejudice, or will have to request an extension from the applicant. It's a straightforward signage application. We just need to make sure all the metrics are met and all the specifications meet our regulations. Once we get all that, it should be straightforward.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to table that, I guess, at this point. Put on the schedule for February 17th, 2026. We don't need a motion for that, right? Nope. Okay. All right, we don't need a motion for that. 7 PM. Let's see. Under other business, number 1, zoning commission 8-3A referral petition to amend B-C3 zone to accommodate PDD number 24. You want to run through that for us? Because I don't remember really seeing much. This is not the continuation of the text change we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 months, is it?
No, so the text change is through, with your referral and the work of the zoning commission and the consultation they received, that landed. So what that does is it allows for additional flexibility of parcels less than 5 acres along Main Street South only. If the commission sees fit a commercial application that meets the needs of the community, however, they don't meet the 5-acre threshold, that would put them into the planned development district, where they were able to do something relatively unique, devise their own regulations, set their own standards for a site. We now allowed that for parcels of 5 acres or less along Main Street only. This is the first application to come in through that new provision. What we have here is, and we'll let the applicant speak on it briefly, but we are looking to do a planned development district at this site. So the process for planned development districts, for those who haven't done one in a while, it's a general plan, then a detailed plan process. What that general plan really is it is the formal zone map and zone text petition. Once we move through the zone map and the zone text petition, the lot, in this case, has effectively changed from what is the underlying B3C to now be the planned development district number. It'll have an associated regulation text with it that will support a style of commercial development that was submitted in the general plans. Once that's done and once the zone is landed, the commission then moves forward with the detailed plans application to spend, it's effectively a site plan application, making sure everything's specified, making sure landscaping meets, making sure the parking is adequate. Right now, we're doing those applications concurrently, because the applicant has worked on the detailed plans.
So this and this are combined right now?
Yep. The applicant has worked on the detailed plans enough that they have all the necessary engineering for the site. Given it's only 2.5 acres, they were able to do that a lot easier than, let's say, a 15-acre parcel like a ShopRite. And yeah, right before you today is the 8-3A referral, going back before the zoning commission. So you're providing a referral on, one, the zone change into a PDD for this style of development with the regulations that have been proposed. And you are also providing a referral on the detailed plans, being the architecture, landscape, outlook, design, layout, everything along with the specific development that will occur on that site.
All right, so I better add that on to the, so what we're talking about, so number one and 2 together?
Yep, 1 and 2 is right here, so they're on the
Yep.
agenda.
Yep,
I need
so
to-
number 1, we just read this, so number 2 is zoning commission 8-3 referral application detailed plans for mixed-use commercial residential development at 333 Main Street South. So we're kind of working the two of them at the same time.
Precisely.
Okay. Mr. Bennett, you're up.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. My name is Nathan Bennett of Bennett Sullivan Associates. I'm here tonight representing the owner of 333 Main Street South, Southbury. I will be speaking on to the specifics of the design of the project and the work we plan on doing on this site. This project is located on a 2.5-acre site within the B3 zone. We are proposing a 48,150 square foot mixed-use development consisting of 8,900 gross square feet of ground floor commercial retail and 39,250 gross square feet of multifamily residential. We have previously been approved on this site for 27,500 square feet office and retail, a project which was never completed, but they did have foundation work that began and is still in the ground on that site. The first floor of the building will contain commercial retail, parking, and storage space for the apartments. The commercial retail occupies the front portion of the ground floor with parking located in the front, covered parking in the middle under the courtyard, and parking in the rear. The site shall provide 108 parking spaces, including 6 accessible spaces and 9 grass paver spaces for permeability and rainwater recharge. There is flexibility to convert 2 or 3 of the front parking spaces into outdoor seating and dining patio. Up to 12 of the rear covered spaces can be converted into landscaped planted island if desired. There is a turnaround at the rear of the site for emergency vehicles and accessibility, designed in compliance with the fire department standards. Vehicular access is provided from Main Street South with site circulation designed to minimize conflicts between vehicles and pedestrians. The second story and the third story shall contain 34 apartments, which are broken down into 16 one-bedroom units and 18 two-bedroom units for a total of 54 bedrooms. 20% of the units will be affordable at 80% of the median income. The requirements call for 10%, but we are providing 20%, which we feel is better for workforce housing in Southbury. Each residential unit will include a dedicated storage locker located adjacent to the covered parking on the ground floor underneath the covered part of the building. Most units feature private exterior balconies, and residents will have access to a 1,780 square foot exterior open air rooftop terrace located towards the rear of the building. Residents will also have access to a fitness center located on the second floor beneath said roof terrace, so any footsteps going on above won't really impact any of the residents below. The project is a traditional design with brick, clapboard siding, and gable roofs that reflect the character of the community of Southbury while maintaining a long-term quality. We break up the horizontality of the faces so it doesn't look like one large box sitting on Main Street. The sidewalk and the front landscaping are designed to follow the Southbury Streetscape Plan, the guidelines with the addition of LED Federal Globe large light posts and trees, which Megan will be speaking on. The sidewalk will have a defined Y-shaped walkway to connect both directions of Main Street as you walk up and down the street. It'll almost pull you right in to connect you to those retail spaces, to your housing spaces on the site. We hid the refuse and the service areas away from the public view mostly, and we used the building to kind of shield a lot of the parking that's on the site. So when you're looking at it from the front, you only see that small lot in the front of the building. We meet the criteria of the underlying zone, the B3C, in a lot of places. The maximum front yard setback is a 50 minimum. We have 118 provided. The side yard setbacks, the regulation is 20 feet. We have a left side 30 feet, right side 60 feet, and rear of 103 feet. The maximum lot coverage is 25%, and we've got 19.25% provided. The maximum floor area is 50%, and we've got 44.25% provided. The maximum total ground coverage is 70%, and we have 63% provided, and we are at the maximum of 3 stories. The building setbacks are of those that respect the adjacent properties. Overall, this project complies with the requirements of the underlying zone, meets the dimensional regulations, and is designed to maintain the character of Southbury, while enhancing Main Street with active, street-facing, ground floor uses, diverse housing, and thoughtful site planning. We feel that this building is the first step in a new phase of planning in the town of Southbury, bringing people to live on Main Street to vitalize the community as well as provide alternative housing. People from Southbury who are downsizing, have a change of income, or are looking to return or stay to the town of Southbury where they grew up. They will be able to find their home here. Thank you.
Good evening. Megan Miller, project manager with Civil One. My company did the civil engineering work for this project. And I won't touch about, Nathan handled a lot of that information. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the site information, and we can go through the plans too, if that would be great. So as Nathan said, it's a 2.5 acre property located in the B3C zone. The site has been previously developed, but it stopped during construction. So there are remains of stormwater systems on site that were constructed but never used. They were inspected as part of our part when we started our work, but there's underground stormwater chambers, there's catch basins, piping, all in good condition. We did inspect the entire thing as part of our investigation. The site does slope from the rear of the property towards the Main Street. It is adjacent to commercial space, which is, in the B zone. It would make sense. The soils were extremely great and favorable for both infiltration of stormwater and also for the septic systems, which I can get into. As Nathan said, we have this mixed use, which is wonderful for the community, consistent with the COPD. And then again, with the thoughtful planning that you're not seeing this big block of parking. You're seeing, we spaced it out, so there are, like, for example, there's 39 spaces in the interior of the building. That's not going to be visible from the street or from adjacent properties. Only 33 spaces of the total of 109 will be visible. And that is going to be, again, used mostly for retail space. There are parking in the interior of the building in that courtyard where people can have access through elevators. And then in the rear property, there's this on-grade parking lot that, again, provides access only to the residential area. I'm going to bring up some maps, too, so you can follow along. So this is the existing survey. Can everyone hear me?
Sure.
Hold it.
It's for the record.
Absolutely.
Just so minutes are easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as previously discussed, this is that concrete footing that was constructed. I can't see it from the road due to the brush that is currently growing there. And then we have this existing stormwater system that has been constructed, and then under here is an underground stormwater chamber system.
You said you did check that it was good?
We did inspect it while we were doing soil testing for the health department. It was very clean. Because the grading on the site was never completed, it was never being utilized. So water wasn't getting into the catch basin, so they weren't going into the system. Also, seeing that site, it's very sandy soil, very, very fine sand, which is consistent with the adjacent use, which is a quarry currently. So beautiful soils for infiltration. You couldn't ask for anything better.
So how did you check it? Run a camera in there? How did you guys do a boroscope? What'd you guys?
I was able to open up the catch basins, take a look into the pipes, and then also there are access chambers to the underground stormwater system where you can pop the manhole. So we were able to use a machine, put a chain on, lift up the manhole, take a look.
Just by sight?
By sight, yes. So this, again, is this parking area where there are only parking spaces in here. There's some adjacent over here. And then as previously discussed, there's the access to Main Street South and then also to the adjacent Union Square plaza. This is the rear parking lot that's going to be on grade, so you have access to the second floor. And then you have, with the turnaround for emergency vehicles, another ADA parking space over here, and then ADA parking spaces in the lower level, which is ground floor with next to the elevators. As Nathan has explained, there is this pathway connecting the buildings. Also, there's a sidewalk that connects all access points to the building. So again, ease of, for the residents or for the users from the community to be able to access this building, really accessible walkability that is already existing on Main Street that we're just adding to. Knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, they've corresponded with them regarding that, but they'll do a full review.
Thank you.
Can I ask a
Can we
question?
ask a question while she's going?
We have a quick question for you, though, while you're doing that.
You were
Just
looking
show
at
me where a Main Street South is.
Absolutely.
I don't have my glasses on, really struggling.
Yeah, turn it around. So this is Main Street South.
Looking this way, okay.
Yeah, so Demos is across the street. This is Union Square, and then this is the bank.
The bank, okay,
Ion.
gotcha. Because it's deep,
Eyes.
deep.
I've,
What is it,
This
Ion?
happened like a month ago.
oh, okay.
Where's the open air parking on that map?
What-
The open air parking is within this central courtyard of the building where this section of the building is on the ground, whereas this rear section is elevated and you're able to drive underneath here, drive around here, loop around and come out. See, we've got an elevator lobby here, so when you drive your car in, you park here, we'll call it 0. You can take the elevator up to the second floor and to the third floor. Whereas if you were to drive here, you'll rise in elevation until you're at the second level on the rear of the building, where you can park your car as a resident, walk along the sidewalk, and enter to another lobby right here.
Thank you.
How many elevators do you have?
Just one.
In our lower level of the interior, I'm gonna call it interior parking, it's only partially covered. We do have pavement, but we also have what we call grass pavers. So that is a plastic grid that goes into the ground, but it is grass that grows. So again, adding a little bit more of a level of green space, less impervious area. It does allow infiltration of storm water. However, we did not account for that in our design, so I can get to that in a little bit too as well. So this is the site plan that shows you all of the parking spaces. Thank you. And
What's the second means of egress besides the elevator?
There's 2 fire-rated staircases on each end of the central corridor. You've got one accessible from this side of the building and one accessible on this side of the building. And those will go all the way top to bottom.
For utilities, there is public water on the property. There's underground electrical and cable will be proposed. And then we have 2 septic systems that have been designed, approved by local and state health department. I can get into that a little bit and just to show you how it's being broken down in a little bit. But I'd like to talk about stormwater as we have this up here. So we designed a stormwater system that is utilizing this existing concrete chambers. Some of the existing catch basins can be utilized. The majority of the piping can also be utilized, but we are supplementing with additional catch basins, which is consistent with our design, while also upgrading this design to handle the newer storm events, because by the time that this was previously designed and approved, the standards have changed. So we have designed our stormwater system to the current code while utilizing that existing system, but adding on. So that takes care of water retention. We're decreasing the flows off of the site for up to the 50-year storm event, which is consistent with the regulations, while also treating it with hydrodynamic separators, which removes oils, sediments from entering into the stormwater system, because our overflow, which was previously approved, is connecting into this existing pipe that is located on South Main Street. We're able to continue to use that, which was previously approved, but we're adding additional safeguards by further treating it with these 2 hydrodynamic separators before it goes off into the town system. As I mentioned, I can go over the septic system. Briefly. As I spoke about, we did our on-site investigation with the local health department. Due to the size of this system, it does need to go to the state Department of Health. They have reviewed it, they have approved it. So this is two different systems. There's one in the rear, which handles the flows from some of the residential, and then we have another system in the front, which handles the retail and additional flows from the residential systems. They have been designed in accordance with the Connecticut Public Health Code. Again, the soils out there were extremely favorable for this type of system. Beautiful material, and our plans do have a phasing plan to protect it during construction so this area does not become damaged by machines and things like that. No stockpiling of materials over it. And I will go over. These are just the details for the septic system.
Megan, I actually had a question regarding the front system that you have for some of the residential. A portion of it goes in the area that would be the future outdoor dining for the retail component of the mixed use. Does having that infrastructure and that location cause any friction if a future patio wanted to develop in that area?
No. It's deep enough. We have parking over the septic system. If you can put parking, you can certainly put a patio. This is a geometric system, which is a proprietary system. We also coordinated with the manufacturer on the best case. So they had this plan, they reviewed it, they gave it additional recommendations that we implemented before even applying it to the state. So, I think personally, I think it's the best system that you could buy. It's correct. Yeah, no, and part of our design too was including like a grease trap. So currently there's no restaurant being proposed. We are proposing construction of the grease trap, risers so we can access it. It being underneath pavement, there's manhole access to these called D-boxes, so you can get down and see the system. It was thoughtfully designed. Local health department gave their comments and their feedback. We took it to the state. We took it to the manufacturer of this system. So everyone has given their input and has signed off.
Do we have copies of all that you're discussing?
Absolutely. That approval letter, I believe you do have a copy of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Approval. You want three letters? You want the approval of, say, the state, the local?
Yeah, so ultimately it's the state that approves it.
Yeah.
So the process is that it goes to the local, they review it, they send it off to the state. So the state came back with some comments and it was more of a discussion, so it was a work in progress. And at that point in time, we reached out to Geomatrix, the manufacturer. So everyone was able to view it and approve it.
It's a large packet that we got, so if anyone feels like they missed something, just let me know. I'll either guide them to it in their materials or supply it to you individually. Robin?
I see here the plant list further back. Are these native plants?
I can get to that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. We can skip right over to that, actually. Okay, so we have designed this planting plan to have typical perennials and native plants that you would typically see. So, for example, we have deciduous shade trees, including maples, honey locusts, and dogwoods. We have a total of 39 of those types of trees on the site. In addition, we're supplementing that with perennials and with shrubs. So the typical perennials that you'll find on our plan are phlox, switchgrass, daylilies, and black-eyed Susans. We have azaleas, spirea, holly, really just a smattering of different types of typical planting you would see in local to our community. We do have gentle green giants. I typically only use them on the border of the properties. So because they grow so quickly, they're a great buffer. And I wanted to provide an additional visual buffer from the bank. So you can see over here, we have like 10 over here. We have additional more over here. Again, just to provide that additional screening and give, again, for the community. We have, again, our large trees here are in the front. We kept them away from the stormwater system because you can't put large trees over that. So that's going to be a nice grass area. But we do have, large shade trees consistent with the town's planting guidelines in Main Street in a safe enough distance where you're not going to have an impact. We also have, again, like trees in the courtyard, again, making this a green space, especially when you're talking about a only 2.5 acre site that is well developed. We have 38.5% of green space. That's vegetated lawn or existing vegetation that is going to remain. That does not include our area for our planter, our pavers too. So there's some level of factors of safety in this. I also just want to talk quickly about just the plan of conservation and development. I'm sure you guys know as well, this is a great mixed-use project. I think it's very unique to this area that we can provide this to this. And as Nathan has said, really, it's diverse housing where people can come and stay in Southbury. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Very quickly, on your sheet over here, it says planted area to keep pedestrians away from the wall. I don't see a wall anywhere in the pictures.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Along the driveway up the hill, we have to stagger the concrete retaining wall that separates the lower parking from the driveway. You may be able to see it on the elevations. You'll see the steps of the concrete wall. That planting will just keep people from whether they want to look over the edge or whether they feel like climbing on it. It will be, within the fall protection height, but, people like to climb on things, and those plants, leafy, bushy, whatever they need to do, will keep people away from there.
I see, I wasn't sure if that's what it was. So now the turnaround, you said that's big enough for even the ladder truck in town to make it?
Yeah.
So no one's parking in that area though?
There's a slightly offset van accessible space, which, will most likely only be used for pickups and drop-offs that you see all around Southbury. And then, again, short-term, getting in and out of the front, and they're on their way.
Okay, wow. Okay. Anybody else, anything? Ron? Jordan? Of what?
What you sent.
Oh, your resolution.
My memo, yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
What section, Ron?
Section 8-3A.
Yep. And what's your question, Ron?
It talks about commission could recommend zoning commission
Yep.
conduct a third-party consultant review. of
Yep, we are getting to that.
report. Is that going to be part of
it's up to our,
discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. So what this commission is doing tonight is reviewing the materials. You're taking in a lot of information, so if additional time is needed, it's understood, we'll handle it with a special meeting. But if you feel you've grasped the concepts of everything that's been presented thus far, what you're doing at this next stage is making recommendations to the zoning commission, who actually has to work through this application and render a decision.
So those will be part of the recommendation?
Those are ideas of items you could recommend if this commission deems fit. I'm not the one that decides on recommendations, but these are ideas that you can consider as part of this stage.
So, any of those three, anybody have any ideas on Jordan's write-up regarding that? Just hang tight 1 second, guys, for discussion. Anything?
did you talk about the water source yet?
There's public water on the street that we would be connecting into.
Okay, so the aquifer will not be affected?
No. There's,
Has anybody looked at it?
This is outside,
it's
far
outside of the aquifer protection zone.
Yeah, we're way out. Yeah.
Traffic report?
A traffic report, I believe, has been submitted to the town, prepared by a consulting engineer.
By who?
By a consulting engineer, not my office.
Do we know who that was?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I can tell you a little bit about it. Let me find my
Kimley Horn. just
Kimley
for the record.
Horn.
Kinley, what?
In total, so when they look at the traffic, they look at the volume and the impacts on the surrounding area. Thank you. So ultimately, we have in the AM peak hour, so they take the traffic and they look at how many cars in the worst case scenario, AM and PM. Our proposed project would have 28 new cars in the AM and 53 in the PM peak hour. The ADT for South Main Street, I have it written down somewhere, is in the thousands. So you're talking about a very small amount of new traffic generated in that system. But additionally, Kimley Horn provided a conclusion, if you want to take a look at the last page there. It's anticipated that the traffic from the proposed development will have little effect on the future traffic conditions on Main Street South and the opposing commercial driveway. We talk about, and therefore it is determined that the project will not have a significant adverse impact on the surrounding roadway networks.
The traffic report talks about AM and PM, peak hours. Doesn't say what day of the week that was done, anywhere that I can see.
So that's when they take a look at the entire, so when the traffic engineer looks at all the data from the entire, like, a week. And so typically, especially for this type of use, the peak travel would be during the weekday. There's certain times when, like, depending on the use, it would be on a weekend. That's not the case here, where you have residential use, retail use. You're going to be talking about the most uses during the AM and PM weekday travel.
It doesn't say when it was.
Have you ever seen that? I mean, so you said 58 cars, but how many two-bedroom apartments are there?
18.
And how many, one? So 30.
16.
16. So how'd you come up with 58 cars? When you have two-bedroom apartments, you could have two adults, it's two cars. The numbers seems to be off.
So you are correct, but it's not like that when you talk about traffic engineering. What they use is this document created by the Institute of Transportation Technology, ITE, and they use land uses. So this is a rate that you apply per the number of units that you have, and it's based on decades of studies all around the United States and an aggregate of these types of uses. So for example, you would break down how many square footages of retail space will generate this amount of traffic per square foot, and then you have the number of residential uses for a type of system like this, which is mid-rise. So that's how you use it. It's any traffic engineer is going to use that because it's the most accurate way to model proposed traffic.
It's just hard in my eyes to do a traffic study when there's nothing there yet, right? Because across the street is a super busy place on a weekend, especially during the week on a hot summer day, right? And the package store is right there too as well. I mean, it just seems like the traffic study I don't know how we come up with an analysis that quickly.
I would just point out it may be a similar analysis to how we predict things like the stormwater system, where we don't know how much it's going to rain, but we have a lot of data from past studies that can tell us, based on the circumstances, this is the traffic you're going to get. This is the amount of gallons per day that a septic system will use. There's a lot of standards that, again, this consulting engineer, not Civil One, but I believe it was the other consulting engineer, that's their standards that they use. I wanted to ask if you had the SLR report on the traffic on the corridor. I think that would be very useful for this commission to view some of those.
When was that?
At the zoning meeting last week, it was
I mean,
submitted.
When was the
When was
study
that
done?
study done?
Recently.
Over the month, they didn't do a traffic count, they had to do a different type of analysis because we were.
As I can see, is it being retail on a weekend in there, right? It's gonna be busy with the people that live there and gonna be,
Well, it says AM peak hour multifamily housing, enter 3,
So,
exit 12.
so that is
That's-
an aggregate, so,
But we have to look at worst-case scenario.
yeah. In that analysis, they did look at your site-specific area. So you can see in that site, there are traffic data counts of this area. They did take into the account of the intersection of demos across the street. So they did do a fair analysis, which is consistent with the regulations of the ITE, which is the governing standards.
So when you're talking about the cars,
40 units.
it's a data based on what you have been, talking about from the past. So, and you come up with a average, let's say, what are the odds that it will be actual?
It's
Actual base, the estimate.
It's an anticipated volume, and I think we've talked about that. You can anticipate in the future use, and again, this is for a 2027 build. So you're anticipating that the traffic volume on South Main Street is also increasing. You're anticipating from the existing when they did the traffic counts. So there's a rate that they are adding on to what they did measure, and then you're taking on what your anticipated volume will be as opposed for this proposed development.
Yeah, so what impact on Main Street will there be during the construction part? I know it's set back a little bit, but at any point, will Main Street have to be shut down or moved to a single lane?
got a lot of trucks coming in. That was a great question. I was gonna cover that too.
There's a detailed phasing plan showing the amount of traffic based off of the amount of material leaving and entering the site. That's on the construction plans. So those are detailed plans that we have looked at that, and then we look at the path that the trucks are going to be taking. Luckily, very close by to highways where they would be entering and exiting and onto the town. So it's going to have minimal impact to the actual traffic of the town. That's a very important question, especially when you're looking at more residential, types of development with a lot of earthwork where they're going to be taking local
Main
roads.
Street, there's,
Yeah.
2 lanes.
Yeah.
So at what point might they need the space on that side of the street?
So
for
you're-
trucks and digging and machinery?
Distance to the highway.
It is,
We were talking about which entrance.
I would say,
Depends where they're going.
yeah, it depends on where they're going.
14 and 15 are both.
It's
As far as work within the right-of-way, I believe the town has a right-of-way excavation permit process that the contractor would need to comply with. Additionally, the only work that they're going to be doing in the right-of-way is for the construction of the utilities. So that's water, that's communication. Communication is going to be, it's in the shoulder. So I wouldn't even anticipate too much work in that area, but you're just talking about connection to water, which a day, maybe, just for the work, because they're going to need to, again, coordinate with police. Contractors want to minimize that as much as possible.
So for the purpose of traffic, obviously, it's difficult for this commission to really wrap its head around traffic impacts when you live and experience the system, right? You can't design for the one-off scenarios where I-84 has a traffic accident and all of the traffic flows through Main Street South. If that was the case, no parcel along Main Street South could be developed in the way that it is currently because we're designing for a standard that's just out of this world. It's the same thing on Stop and Shop Plaza. You can't design for the Christmas influx, because if we did, the place would be 3 times the size and it would all be pavement. So SLR did an analysis because the zoning commission, in devising the amendment to section 12 that allows developments like this to go forward, was chiefly concerned about traffic impacts. So when SLR conducted their analysis, they took into consideration not just the potential future development of 333 Main Street South, but all of the capacity of potential future development that Main Street currently has, whether it's the Stone Yard, Parcells properties, all the way down in the Wimchip property across the street from Maggie McFly's. There are a number of parcels that still are ripe for development at some point in the future, may or may not be the case, but the commission was concerned that by allowing kind of blanket flexibility on all parcels regardless of size to be able to go down the route of planned development districts, they could open the door to significant traffic impacts. So as a result, they had SLR conduct their analysis. They did a number of kind of high-level looks at 970 Main Street South, 681, 333, 263. And I can just read kind of their recommendation and conclusion to the traffic analysis side of this. They make recommendations along the entire text change, but as far as this commission's questions, I could go through that final statement if everyone would like.
Do they take into consideration, seasonal is very important in Southbury because 40% of the town, with Heritage Village being, 40% of our population?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that changes seasonally. There are people from Heritage Village go south,
Okay.
and I don't know when it was done.
These are
When was it
daily,
done?
so this analysis was done in the last month. So January 14th was the submission of this. They conducted that analysis the month prior.
January.
Okay, so we're looking at December to January. Regardless of traffic, that's the snapshot that they looked at, but that's kind of the case when it comes to traffic. You can't nitpick the absolute worst time because the absolute worst time is 84 having a closure and everyone runs through Southbury. You have to design for the average, and this is how traffic analysts determine averages.
And there's a state evacuation plan also that affects, I don't know if you've looked at that, the state evacuation.
Not this development.
No, I'm
No.
talking about the impact on Main Street South in the state evacuation plan.
Can I address that real quick?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So we, as a private developers, don't have any, design of the emergency access. What did you call it? Evacuation?
It's-
But
It's a state.
the people who did come up with that plan designed it based on the current volume, which, according to Connecticut DOT, has an average daily traffic of 13,300 vehicles. Now, that's average ADT and it's over years. But also, our proposed development is adding 53 peak trips during the PM time. So 53 vehicles is like a drop in a bucket when you have that much volume on that road, which has been designed for that type of volume. So 53 new trips isn't going to impact the level of service of Main Street South.
And that was the conclusion of the consultant, not just for 333, but across the board. If these sites were to develop to their maximum capacity, as is allowed under the underlying zoning, traffic still wouldn't hit a threshold that we need to really be concerned. What they did recommend was that signaling and timing of those signals be addressed through these traffic studies, and when you do get an application, a traffic study is conducted, which the applicant has supported that. So the commission may want to consider looking at the timing of the intersections and linking those up. I think there could be benefit there. But as far as the overall traffic, this is residential uses. Residential uses generally don't carry a high load from a traffic perspective. For the 35 units, we generally have one trip out in the morning and one trip back in the evening. There's gonna be those peak hours. In those evening hours, you're also having the mercantile component having an influx of people coming there as well. And based on the analysis, 53 was the peak to the 13,000 daily trips that we occur on Main Street South. Again, it's hard to really put your head around because we've all sat in traffic on Main Street and you can't get 10 feet in 10 minutes. But these are the analysis that need to go into these conversations because, again, we can't design for the worst-case scenario when it comes to these type of applications.
This is the first time seeing this, and I just, page 6, it says, 3 vehicles from 40 units will enter South Main Street. I don't know if I'm reading this correctly.
So it depends.
Out of 40 units.
It is during the peak hour. So that is during a peak hour. And I'm not sure what reference, because there's a couple different uses that were analyzed in that report, whether it was be retail or
For the
office.
residential, 11 for the office building,
It's entering the site. So in the morning,
and exiting is 12.
during the peak hour. So it's only, there's other vehicles leaving and entering the site throughout the entire time. Someone might start work at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're not included in that peak hour because that's not the peak hour of traffic on South Main Street. You know, some people might be coming back from the nursing shift. They're not included in that. Especially being workforce housing, you have a different variable about employment.
You can expect to see a different range of, like you said, employment, or you'll have retired, fixed income individuals, as well as, small families, as well as, a volunteer firefighter. He's coming and going all day long, but you're gonna have to count him in your traffic, but he's not holding anybody up. And to go back to your peak comment with that small number of cars, that peak is your worst case scenario, 3 or 4 cars working their way in and out of this not too bad size of a site.
What was your idea for the retail or restaurant on the bottom?
Currently, it's permitted for, or it's proposed to be retail. Yeah.
Retail.
We did, as discussed, we wanted to put in a grease trap on the upper section of the plan on the off chance that down the line we want to create, whether it's a coffee shop, small in and out takeout, not a, full-scale restaurant, nothing to sit down, but if if they happen to need a grease trap, this upper section will be able to have one.
Without disturbing the entire site. It was just forethought for future planning.
Makes sense. Anyone else? Robin, anything? Bob?
Not right now.
Is it going to be sprinklered?
The building will be sprinklered, including underneath in the parking area within the drop ceiling under here, weatherized system.
I see that you have lighting around the property. Will there be cameras also? Any kind of security measures around there?
Although it's not in our design, this is a modern world, I'm sure there will be, at minimum, there will be a fire system and a security system, but I can't speak on the decision for cameras at this moment.
Robin, just to piggyback off your comment, given you're specifically involved in streetscape, I've spoken with the architect about, as part of laying out the site work, including infrastructure, so that trees can get lit relatively easy, similar to what they do at the Quarry Walk. It's a nice plug-and-play type of design. So we'll be working on that on the zoning side as well.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anything? So I guess the question now we need to know is,
How you want to move forward with the referral at this time?
how does everybody feel about rendering it a positive or decision or negative decision tonight, or tabling it and having a special meeting in 2 weeks to go over more, so they make it in time for the meeting, or what are your thoughts?
I would prefer a little bit more time to be able to
Okay.
review.
Rod?
Are we going forward with your recommendations on page 2?
That would be up to the commission to decide, Ron. So if you'd like to make a motion that any of those 3 options were included, you can absolutely do that, or wait for another member to do the same.
I was just getting to it, Ron.
Pardon me?
I was just gonna get to that, see what we were doing. I wanted to see if everybody wanted to have a special meeting or not, to start with. Does that make sense at this end of the table, you guys?
Awful lot to digest.
Okay, okay. When is the next meeting they need the zoning, the deferral by?
11th, I believe. Zoning's on the 11th
Of February?
of February.
Okay. All right.
So we'll be looking in the next 2 weeks for you guys, as well as the members of this commission, if you can look at your schedules. I can send out an email immediately following this or tomorrow morning, and we can start working on getting a time nailed down for that special meeting, and then we can
Let's do
inform
that.
the applicant.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
So everyone's thoughts on these three areas that Jordan suggested? Anybody, well, obviously, we're choosing number 3, to have a special meeting in the next 2 weeks.
Which means you can address those at that time.
Other two, we'll do that then. That makes sense.
But consider anything. Read the traffic report. If something's not making sense, let's bring questions to the table.
Yep.
The commission really didn't have a lot of time at all to conduct this review. It was, relatively midweek, and then there was a long weekend, and our offices are closed on Fridays, which is really putting a hitch in a lot of stuff that we're working on.
Plus, you're down people anyway.
We are also down staff, but that's fine. We will work through that,
Yeah.
no problem.
So-
But think of questions, think of any considerations. If you have a subcommittee that you support and you feel that the efforts of those subcommittees are being applied, not being applied, please bring those to the forefront. But we can talk about everything. We can talk about traffic a little bit more in depth. We could talk about access, circulation, landscaping, whatever the case is. Streetscaping, absolutely. But definitely bring those comments, review this as thoroughly as you can. And if you have any questions along the way, please contact my office, because I will be happy to guide you either to the submissions that are already in place, or we can work to get the answers that you're looking for.
We got to get the Google Drive in place, put out all up there, they can grab it.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, so say the beginning of February, we'll get it done before the 11th. That work, everyone? Kind of figure out a date for tomorrow, we'll get a date from Jordan or whatever, and we'll get unless we can come up with it now, that's fine with me too. A date that works,
And when in February?
right? Is that right? Because today's the 20th already, right? So
When in February, you asked?
like
Ron?
the first week, I would think, would do it? Because then we'd make it in time for the 11th.
Yeah, we'd be looking at first week of February, kind of at our last week that we could run it.
Right.
Okay, because I'm tied up on the 3rd
On the 3rd?
and
Okay.
the 5th. I can't be here.
So Monday the 2nd and Wednesday the 4th work
Work for
currently.
me.
Yep, I'm good with any of those. Robin?
I have a meeting on Monday and,
Tuesday.
Tuesday's off.
Okay.
Can you make it at 7?
Is it?
on the 4th?
That's the only other one.
The 5th?
Okay.
On the 2nd.
How about the 5th, anybody?
I gotta
Ron
look at
can't
it.
do the 5th,
Okay,
but
okay, that's
Whatever.
why we have
We would,
alternates.
it would be the same time, it would be at night, right?
we can make it at night.
On the 5th?
Yeah,
I can do it if it's at night on the 5th.
7 o'clock?
7 would be good.
7
6
works?
would
Bob,
be
you good
good.
with that? Bob, you good? I'm good with that. You guys down that end? Thursday the 5th? Roberta, sound good? Okay,
Is everyone okay for 6?
I'm good with 6.
I'm good with 6.
Yeah. for
Everyone's
sure.
okay with 6? Yeah?
Basketball
Unanimous?
starts at 8, so yeah, let's do it. Yeah, you guys good with that? All right, sorry.
February 5th?
February 5th, 6 o'clock, right here, room 205. All right, sounds good.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. We'll get you an email out so you remember it. 6 a.m., yeah, be here.
Yeah, Megan's already taken multiple trips back and forth today, so
6
we
a.m., I'd be
appreciate you
fine with
6
that.
a.m., no, 6
being
p.m.
here and answering the
know.
questions for the
Oh, just
commissioners.
I'd be fine with 6 a.m.
I'd be fine with 6 a.m. too, honestly. Get it
I'm
done.
up early anyway, doesn't matter to me. All right, so
Not
6
Mary.
p.m. it is. Thank you, guys. Nice presentation, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's see, moving along, members' reports, Affordable Housing Subcommittee Housing Bill Report from Commissioner Conti. Let's see, and you talk about the appointment of Dominic as well while you're at it. How's that sound? Ron? You're up. Affordable Housing Committee, Ron, give us a little quick update.
She was, the last thing I heard.
Grab your
on-
microphone
on-
there so we can, there we go.
Okay, on the meeting that we had, Alex was gonna get to all the parties that are concerned, because we were trying to put together everybody on the same page so that we could have a meeting, an open meeting on affordable housing. And unfortunately, Alex is not here, so, and she didn't give me anything, so I don't know.
Okay.
What's an open meeting? What do you mean, open to the public? Or open to what?
What we wanted to do was have a meeting with, and correct me, Bob, if I'm wrong, we wanted to have a meeting with somebody from the selectmen's, the Board of Selectmen, someone from the various offices that would be impacted by affordable housing. Planning, yeah, so that we could, make sure we're all on the same page.
So yeah, I've been in contact with Alex. We've been working on setting this up. There was some back and forth with the selectmen, so we may be working on having kind of like an introduction forum with zoning, planning, and affordable housing. Get those commissions on board, get them in their understanding, and then from there, kind of take it to the Board of Selectmen. Answer any questions, whether it be through kind of a liaison, to address any questions that the Board of Selectmen might have. The whole purpose for this is just to get everyone that's discussing affordable housing and making
On the same
decisions
page.
on the same page, or understand where the concerns and issues may land, so
And where
that
it's headed.
we can
Yep.
get some direction on addressing those. So yeah, we'll be working on hopefully setting that up in my office in the coming months.
All right.
Ron, you weren't aware, but the zoning commission had made a recommendation for an appointment, since Mark Lee is no longer gonna be sitting on the Affordable Housing Subcommittee as a member from the zoning commission.
I didn't know that.
So we have a recommendation for an appointment with Dominic Fattabine. He's one of the members of the zoning commission, one of the newer members. So if this commission felt so inclined, they could make the,
I'll make a motion to appoint him.
wonderful.
Sure.
Yeah,
Second, thank you,
All in
Nancy.
favor of everyone appointing Dominic?
yeah, aye.
Aye, opposed?
That's great.
Abstention, sounds good.
Well,
Mark's
just not
taking
me.
over as the chairman of the zoning, that's why.
Yeah.
Probably because he's too busy with that. It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a big.
And he
tag on it.
sits with us right now on
Yeah.
affordable housing.
Yeah. Well, he's going to resign. So let's see, next, members report, Streetscape Review Subcommittee, new member appointment. I will do that in a minute after we hear from Robin.
Yeah, Streetscape met last Monday, and our primary focus right now is to organize a plan for holiday lighting for 2026. We definitely heard from residents that that was something that they would like, and we are putting together plans. Vice Chairman Don Antilla has been kind of on the street, from Pelham to Sandy Hook, taking pictures of things and getting quotes and following up. So right now, we're gathering information. We have a few ideas that we're looking at. Some things with garlands, some things with wreaths and tags. What else, Jordan? Anything?
Memorial Day?
Oh, we didn't talk about Memorial Day.
No, not Memorial Day, more holiday lighting.
Yeah, like the end of the year.
Yeah, really decorating Main Street, make it a destination. I think that's kind of the main crux that the
Yeah.
commission, subcommittee's focused on right now.
So some things we are looking into are how we might be able to retrofit some plugs onto our existing light poles to support that, that we can plug things in and have lights. What else?
Right now, we're working on getting renderings for.
Oh, that's right.
What the proposed lighting, we've researched a lot of really fantastic sources for a lot of these lightings and holiday embellishments. A lot of them work with municipalities to really impart that aesthetic right into the main street or right into a central area, and it all comes out together. So we're looking to partner with one of those groups through the RFP process when it does come time for that. But we are also working on getting some concept plans drawn up so people can really see what the aesthetic would look like, get a physical understanding and feeling of how Main Street's gonna look in the future. It's gonna be really cool.
Yep.
Cool. And we
Mary?
have an appointment as well.
Robin, hi. When did they say they would start that, the holiday look? Around November and end in January? For the streetscape, and the poles?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got to that level of detail but I assume it would be somewhere around then. I mean, it depends on, if we have to work with Public Works, it would have to be around their schedule.
Correct.
So I think it depends on the level of effort that's required. and that will help us to better schedule it. But it would be roughly in that timing.
Thank you.
And the town having the resources to do it.
Yeah, a lot of work to go
Yeah.
before we get to planning,
Yeah,
In a
but,
budget?
exactly, yeah,
it's always the biggest.
Right.
a lot to determine.
All right, let's see, so we had new member Catherine Caleros for the streetscape, so we have to appoint her if we all feel that because we have a resignation for, Jay Hind is gonna resign, so we have a new folks that we could add Catherine Claros to the streetscape subcommittee, so we can make a motion for that.
Make a motion, go right ahead.
I make a motion to add Kathy Claros to our commission, so she can be on
Okay, all in favor of adding Catherine Claros to the streetscape review subcommittee, say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And then we have to accept Jay Hines' resignation from the streetscape review subcommittee. We don't need to vote on that, right? Okay, we'll accept it, Jay. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Robin. Appreciate it. No correspondence? I didn't see any from my end, okay?
Nothing that I would know at this point.
Okay.
That's all that's on this desk.
Let's see, meeting minutes approval for November the 18th, 2025. Let's see who was not here for those. Let me just double check it quickly. Where are you, Sonia? Give me 1 second, guys. Where is it? Meeting minutes for 2018. Let's see who was not here. Absent was Mary Corso and Robin cannot vote. Everybody, for December 9th, Tuesday meeting, any questions, thoughts, changes for the minutes? If not, we get a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved for December 9th. And let's see who's left here. On November the 18th, Ron Conti and Mary Corso cannot vote on the minutes. Any changes, thoughts, or additions to November 18th, anybody? Can we get a motion to approve them?
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second them. All in favor of approving the minutes for November 18th? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. All right. You're abstaining.
Abstention, yep.
Yep. Let's see, any other business properly brought before the commission?
Can we each get a copy of this?
You do have a copy in the link that was sent with
Yeah.
the
It's-
entire file.
But if anyone wants a hard copy, they can call,
Absolutely,
pick one up.
absolutely.
You can have that one.
Okay. No, I don't mean me, I mean him,
Oh.
but
Do you want that one, Mary? Or Nancy, I'm sorry.
Sure, go print a new one.
okay.
You want that one? Perfect. I'll get a new one.
So let's just talk about the Google Drive. Are we gonna, I know it's been tough for, we talked about it for a while, to upload all this so that we can just make it easy for everybody. So all the information that you're stacking here is all somehow scanned, or, I know it's a little effort, but get it into a drive where we can all access the drive.
Yep, that's 100% the ultimate goal. Right now, Sonia's doing all of the commissions and supporting
Okay.
those. So I'm reluctant to put more on her plate in this
Okay.
regard, but I'd be happy to start poking around and working on this myself, and hopefully we can get this up and running by at
We have
least
no
next
IT guy, that's why. probably
No.
won't.
And,
Yeah.
and you're doing all the commissions also?
I have Deandra, my zoning enforcement officer, in support. She's covering her workload, but I'll be making sure that everything runs smoothly for the time
So
being.
are we looking to hire?
Absolutely, it's posted. So if anyone knows of an administrator, love to interview, love to have them. Want to work in Southbury, it's a great community.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to bring up for the commission? One thing, I know you're busy, but if we can, I'll talk to you offline about it. It's just paperwork, that's fine.
Okay.
Any thoughts, anyone else? No? Okay. Good meeting. All right, I will make a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
Does anyone want a hard
Meeting
copy
adjourned.
of the subdivision plan?
Yeah.
We have them right here. I'll be right back to help you with that, Mary. I'll take care of you.
Do you want it, Matt?